It's very often.
This is when you're getting old, when your teeth starts troubling you.
Yeah.
I'm not finding the.
On my Facebook.
Is it on your Facebook?
Nothing to say. See, I thought it was radio, I'll be safe. You know, in radio, you don't need six pack and big muscles and all of that.
Yeah.
I thought I was safe. Which is in action stage.
Once again, na priyamaina mi andariki namaskaram and vanakkam. Good evening to all the listeners and viewers of Impressions 94.3 FM. Well, previous to this, we had Melissa Governor of the Phoenix Pratne Tamil Karagam, and she spoke to us about the annual Thaipusam Kavadi that's going to be held next week. Well, today I am actually very privileged and I am very blessed in having Swamiji with me this evening, and he will be speaking to us and delivering to us a lovely discourse, and I know that this is going to be one of its best discourses, and I look forward to this, Swamiji. Over to you.
No pressure. Om Para Brahmaya Vidmahe Shiva Tattvaya Dhimahi Tanno Mohan Prachodayat. Om Digambaraya Vidmahe Atriputraya Dhimahi Tanno Datta Prachodayat. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Para Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Thank you very much, dear Sagebai, for inviting us here today. I can't tell you how privileged and happy I feel to be here. You know, you're one of the stalwarts that are holding up our culture, and for that I am incredibly grateful to you. So thank you very much. In our communication with each other before this, you know, we said that we should speak a little bit about Swami Vivekananda, since it was his Jayanti a few days ago. So I thought, you know, it would be fitting to speak about what made Swami Vivekananda unique. You know, what empowered him to create such a magnanimous, such a powerful, profound spiritual movement for his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna. And to me, when I think about the uniqueness of Swami Vivekananda, I actually realized that Swami Vivekananda had a very unique way of seeing what happiness is. And I thought today we should speak about what happiness is in respect to how Swami Vivekananda defined it. Because it's only when someone is truly, truly happy that you can actually lead others to become happy. It's only when you are happy yourself can you actually inspire people. And Swami Vivekananda inspired millions of people. He led India, he led the youth of India, the youth of America. So much so that the International Youth Day in India is Swami Vivekananda's birthday. So I thought this would be a nice topic for us to actually talk about and discuss. Today, and I'm sure this is also true in the time of Swami Vivekananda, people's idea of spirituality is going to the temple once a week and offering laddu. You go to God, my dear God, I love you so much, I'm offering you these 3 laddu, please give me a BMW car. You offer something for 10 Rand 99 and you want something for 500,000 rands. Or even better, Sage Bhai. You go to God, my dear God, my divine mother. I went to Cuba Lounge yesterday. I saw this beautiful girl. I promise I'll break 5 coconuts for you if you make this girl fall in love with me. Dear God, please bless me with a big house, big car, fast car, better job. As if God is like a sweetmeat vendor or a vegetable vendor. You give a little bit of vegetable, 1 apple, 1 sabji, 1 sweetmeat, and then God must give you everything else in return.
Yes.
And I can understand why people think this is spirituality, because this is what they think that will make them happy. And as a human being, it's a fundamental need that we have to be happy. And to me, the purpose of life is to be happy. Nobody wants to be miserable. Who wakes up in the morning and says, today I'm going to have a bad day? No one, right? We all wake up and say, I'm going to have a good day. Because we want to be happy. It's a fundamental need. And the truth is, society has already told us what we need to do to be happy. Right? From children. From the time you're born, we are told how to behave. You go to the auntie's house, you don't ask for food. Go to your house and eat your own food. Right?
Yes.
You go to school, you must be the top in the class. After school, you must go to university. You must study either to become an engineer, a doctor, or a lawyer. Indian people, they love engineers, doctors, lawyers, and now accountants because they make extra money. You must have a girlfriend at this age. Then you must get a job at this age. And it can't be any job. It must be a job that pays you a lot. It must be a job that has this amazing title to it. Then you must get married. Then you must have children. Then you must work for a bigger house, even though you don't need it. You must work for holidays, even though you might not need it. And after that, after you work so hard, after you spend every day working, what's the next thing that you must do? Force your children to have children. And complete the cycle. And then eventually, you die. And nowadays, modern world, if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, you've made it, right?
Yes.
You've made it in life. You have 100,000 people saying such a nice post, they like you on Facebook, you have made it in life. So society has defined what should make us happy already. But there's a problem to this. Are we happy? There's an international day, it's called International Happiness Day. And on this day, this International Happiness Day, there's a group of people that release a report that is called the Global Happiness Report. Now, this report is done very scientifically and very pedantically. It's a report that looks at 158 countries, that's the last number that they had, 158 countries. And they actually ask people how happy they are. They do surveys asking different questions about happiness. They do mathematical modeling to actually measure how happy people are in these 158 countries, and then they extrapolate it to the world. Now, this report actually said that from 2001 to 2018, all these negative emotions, anger, frustration, depression, sadness, the feeling of you not achieving anything has increased by 27%. 27%. People are 27% more depressed, 27% more angry, 27% more frustrated with what their life is right now. The latest report showed that in 1 year, that's from the year before to 2022, so from 2021 to 2022, there's a 10% decrease in happiness. I mean, think about this. In 1 year, 10% decrease in happiness. The almost 30% increase in anger and frustration and sadness from 2001 to 2018. Imagine what happened after COVID, where we lost so much. How much more unhappy and angry and frustrated we are. And when I read this, one thing struck in my mind. You know, this clearly shows that how we are measuring happiness is not right. Because we are becoming more and more miserable. How we measure happiness, what we define happiness as, is wrong. And you know, madness, you know, people, there's a saying that I really like the saying. What is madness? Madness is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. Aren't we doing that? Clearly, how we define happiness is not working. Yeah. But as soon as we have children, we want to impose what we think happiness is on them. As soon as we go to school, our teachers want to impose what society says happiness is on us. That's madness. It truly is madness. Because, you know, the problem is that we are constantly looking for happiness on the outside. And Swami Vivekananda was very different. He taught a very, very different thing. So when he was young, he was also looking for happiness. So he went from guru to guru asking a very specific question. Because this question would have given him happiness. And that question he asked Sri Ramakrishna, his guru. He asked the question, have you seen God? And Sri Ramakrishna answered, yes, I have seen God more clearly than what I am seeing you. Now, this question, have you seen God, really defines what Sanatana Dharma should be. Because Sanatana Dharma is a lifestyle that allows you to have permanent happiness. That's one way of seeing what Sanatana Dharma is. It's a lifestyle that allows you to have permanent happiness. No, Swami Vivekananda didn't ask Sri Ramakrishna, how much of sadhana did you do? How much of chanting did you do? You know, what title do you have? Are you Rishi, Maharishi, Avduta, Paramahamsa? He didn't ask which temple you go to. He didn't ask which temple you serve, how many followers you have. He asked, have you seen God? Because he realized that happiness is something that comes from inside, not outside. That's why he asked Sri Ramakrishna, do you have an intimate and personal relationship with God? At that age, he already realized permanent happiness, you must look inside and not outside. Because you have to establish yourself in something that is stable. The problem that we have today is that we are establishing ourselves in things that are not stable. When they go up and down, then we start complaining, why is my life not stable? Swami Vivekananda was very unique. His take on happiness was absolutely unique. You know, he said something which is one of my favorite sayings of his. Materialism and all of its miseries can never be conquered by materialism. Right? Materialism and all its miseries can never be conquered by materialism. So if you look at an example, it means that poverty and the misery of poverty cannot be conquered by money. And when I first came across the saying, I thought, like, that doesn't make sense to me. Right? If I'm poor, obviously I want money and I won't be poor. The misery of materialism, poverty, Swami Vivekananda says, cannot be conquered by more materialism. That's more money. It didn't make sense in my mind until I thought about something my guru, Brahma Rishi Mohanji, says. He says that some people are so poor, they are so poor that all they have is money. And then suddenly it made sense to me. Because you may be poor, right? But what attitude do you have? If you are looking for instant happiness, you will never be able to overcome that poverty with more money. Because if you have more money, what are you going to say? I need this to make me happy. So you go and buy it. Oh no, that didn't work, so you need something else to make you happy, and you need more money to buy that. Eventually, you buy X, Y, Z things, you spend all the money, and you're still not happy. So it's not about the materialism that will take away the misery. It is an attitude that you have. We have this attitude of scarcity, the attitude of poverty. That is what makes you poor. The mindset. If you have a mindset of divinity, a mindset of stability, then whatever situation you are in, you will be stable. You can overcome it. As we said, outside things are never stable. They come and they go. I mean, we all know people who have been extremely rich, and one thing happens, and all of the wealth is gone, and they don't know what to do. We have people that have, they are like they spend hours and hours in gym. They look absolutely gorgeous, six-pack, big muscles, long flowing hair. One accident, and everything is gone. When we have these things, we are so happy. When we don't have these things, we become so sad. This is why our life is made up of so much of ups and downs. So much of suffering, happiness, like a pendulum. Our life has become a pendulum that we are not in control of. Extreme happiness, extreme sadness. But if we hook our mind on something that is stable, then our whole life becomes stable. There's no suffering. If you hook your mind on God, if you walk attuned with your soul, then even if there's pain in your life, there is no suffering at all. Swami Vivekananda says that man has reached immortality that is not disturbed by anything material. So when you hook your life onto something that is more than this outside materialism, your life becomes very stable. He goes on to say that those that die merely suffering the woes of life, like cats and dogs, are they really men? My guru says something similar. He says, your life should not be animalistic. That there's more to life than growing up, eating, sleeping, going to the toilet, making babies and dying. There's more to life than this. As human beings, we can achieve so much greatness. This is the divinity that God has put inside of us. Swami Vivekananda says, conquer yourself, and you conquer the entire world. So, how do we do this? I thought we'll speak about maybe one thing, because of the time that we have. We'll speak about one thing which I think is very important. He goes on to say that we can actually develop a connection to God that brings us happiness. He says, where can we go to find God if we cannot see Him in our own hearts and in every living being? If in this hell of a world one can bring a little joy and peace, even for a day, into the heart of a single person. That much alone is true. This I have learned after suffering all my life. All else is mere moonshine. He's saying that if you can bring joy in the heart of one person, even once in your entire life, then you are worthy of being called a human being. And he even says, after all my suffering, I know that this is true. Unselfish action, unselfish service to others. My Guru Mohanji always says that when you perform seva, unselfish action, it's an incredibly purifying act. All the obstacles, all the negative karma that we all have gets washed away. All our scriptures say this. All great masters have said this. And this is not just some philosophy. It's not just something that people of the Orient are saying or philosophers are saying. This now, the value of seva, the value of charity, is actually being studied in scientific research institutions at universities. So, there was this one study by this group at Rush Medical Center where they did a series of MRI scans. So in the brain, right, you become happy because certain hormones are released. Those hormones are released when certain areas of your brain synapse. So they light up, right? Electricity flows in certain areas of your brain. And we in science now know which areas of the brain needs to synapse to release these hormones that make us feel good. So they did this amazing study. They gave two groups of people $20 a day. One group of people, they said, you go and do something good for other people. One group of people, the control group, one group of people, they said, you do something for yourself. So over a period of time, they took MRI scans. And they literally saw, okay, when both groups did something good for themselves or someone else, this part of the brain that makes us happy flared up. They felt very good. But after 2 or 3 days, the people that did selfish things, so things for themselves, their brain went back to baseline. So normal, not flaring anymore. But the people that actually did unselfish acts, their brain was flaring up, that synapse was still synapsing for 3 weeks after the act of kindness. So for 3 weeks they were happy, compared to the 2 or 3 days of the people that did something selfishly. So this is showing that for you to be happy, for you to be joyful, give to others. Make somebody else happy. Make somebody else joyful. And this group, there's a group in Berkeley that has actually created a department at a prestigious university, the University of California, just to study how seva affects human beings. Imagine that. Science now has a department at a university. It's called the Greater Good Science Center, to actually study how seva affects a human being. Our rishis and munis were telling us this for aeons.
Yeah.
Do seva, do seva. My guru, his formula for anything. I go to him and say, oh, Baba, I'm feeling sad today. Go do seva. Baba, this is not working in my life. I can't get this promotion. Go do seva. Baba, this person is sick. Go do seva. This person wants a job. Go do seva. For his answer for everything is go do seva. And it's true. These people, they have a project called the Big Joy Project. And one of the other studies that they did was, they, again, over a 3-month period, made people do unselfish work, so unselfish seva, acts of kindness to other people, and then again, things for themselves. And they looked at the DNA of these people. So they sequenced part of the DNA before and part of the DNA after. And they found that there are actual changes in the nucleotides of your DNA when you do acts of seva. And those changes in your DNA mostly equated to making your immune system stronger. So, doing good for others not only is making you happy, it's making you healthy as well. How amazing is this? This is what Swami Vivekananda teaches. Swami Vivekananda's cornerstone of everything was serve man, serve mankind, serve the wicked, serve the poor, he kept on saying. Why? Because he knew the effect. He knew the effect that seva has. So for all those who are listening, how do you become happy? Serve others. Do for others the smallest act of kindness. A single butter and bread sandwich that you give to someone that is hungry, do it. A single biscuit, a single glass of water to someone that is walking in the heat. Give. This will bring happiness to you. You know, so we spoke about acts of giving. But what about the other acts? You know, it's not realistic to think that every single act we do in life is going to be an act of giving. We have to do things for ourselves sometimes too, right? We have to eat for ourselves. You know, sometimes we got to study. You know, sometimes we got to take care of our children. You know, as much as you don't want to, you got to take care of your mother-in-law. You know, as much as you don't want to, you got to take the cup of tea and give to your husband. So there's certain things, you know, sometimes we might do things for ourselves. Is there a secret to even make those a source of happiness for us? And there is. And Swami Vivekananda teaches us this. He said, the great secret of true success and true happiness is this: the man or woman who asks for no return, the perfectly unselfish person, is the most successful and happy. What is he saying? He's saying that whenever you do something, no matter what it is, whatever your responsibility is, have no expectations. Have no expectations. Mohanji says that expectations is the root of all disappointments. It's the expectation that makes us upset, not the action. Have we actually sat and thought about that? If somebody hurts you somehow, we all have been in relationships, right? At some point in time, we've been hurt in relationships, including me. I'll admit there are times when I sat and cried. Why did you do this to me? You're supposed to go to the movies with me, but you decided to go with your friends. I've shed those tears too. But what is it that actually hurt you? It's the expectation that you have about the person that actually hurt you, not the actual action itself. Expectation is the root to all of these disappointments. And if we can somehow listen to these great saints, Swami Vivekananda, Mohanji, even Lord Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, if we can just separate ourselves from the expectation and the action, so much of our life will be so much happier. We'll be able to make such better decisions that really give us happiness. If only we can do this one thing, learn to reduce the expectations that we have for everything that we in everything that we do. I think I'm coming to the end of my time. So to end, I think these points, these 3 points that we made, is very, very important for our happiness. And if you can contemplate them, attach yourself to something that is stable. Do seva and try and reduce your expectations. Swami Vivekananda only lived 39 years. He only lived 39 years. And I read in the Hindustan Times that he had 31 different diseases when he died at the age of 39. Imagine living such a short life, having 31 diseases, but still you had the power to change the whole world. Who in this world, which country in this world doesn't know who Swami Vivekananda is? He changed the whole direction the youth of India was going into. And this we are capable of doing because this is his blessings to us. He said, if you really, my children, you will fear nothing. You will stop at nothing. You will be like lions. My prayer and benedictions follow you in every step you take. Everything will come to you if you have faith. We all are children of Swami Vivekananda. We all are children of the divine. Have faith, no matter what the situation. Have faith, surrender, think about these three things, and your life will be much happier. Thank you, Sejbai, for allowing us to be here today.
Thank you very much, Swamiji. I think we have learned a lot from this discourse. And thank you very much, and I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I hope that the listeners and the viewers out there has taken some sort of message in which that they can use in their daily life.
Thank you.
And talking about Swami Ramakrishna, when I attended your ashram a few months ago, it was in tribute to Swami Ramakrishna.
Really?
And today we are speaking about Swami Vivekananda's Guru.
Correct.
And as you spoke about, about people that has so much of, money and so
Yes.
forth, there is a song in which that we normally sing.
Right.
And it says in the song, these four types of people, the king, the beggar, the literate and the illiterate. It says in the song, in the Yelorku Modi will send that these four types of people are still going to go into discrimination ground.
Correct.
So
Correct.
why do we have so much of pride and why do we have so much people?
100%.
So I want to say thank you very,
Thank you.
very, very
Thank
much
you.
in being here.
Thank you.
Everything of the best and
Thank you
very
so much.
Well, that was Swamiji, and I hope that you have enjoyed that lovely discourse. Well, this is by Mayantri Pillai. Please enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So it says you've got a details for ashram people inquire. You need to let them know.
Thank you very much. All my love to you. Be safe, be good.
Thank you.